Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. It's lunchtime. So I was hanging out in my free Discord. That's right, you can join my free Discord. Pin comment below. And I determined a topic of discussion for today as I drive to go get my Chipotle. YieldMax. Now, we all know I've been attacking YieldMax, especially Khmer, who is a disgusting scammer. But I've been dumping on these funds. What is YieldMax? It's a company that offers a selection of synthetic covered call ETFs. Basically, they use options to replicate holding or owning the underlying shares so that the price of the value of the option basically moves with the value of the stock. But they replicate that with options, and then they sell covered calls on top of that. So it's basically a covered call ETF, but they don't own the underlying stock. It's all based on stock options. Interesting concept there. And for the privilege of limiting your upside, you pay a 1% expense ratio. Now, the comments are in my Discord. He was talking about some other covered call ETFs from YieldMax that had done decently well. I think CONY might be one, Amazoni or whatever. There's been a couple of the YieldMax ETFs that have gone up and they have paid distributions. So not only are you generating passive income, according to these people, but you're also getting share price appreciation, which seems amazing, right? Like that's like the best of both worlds. The share price goes up, and you get passive income. Look, people. Number one, you're paying a 1% expense ratio. 1%. How much are you paying for an expense ratio with a total market index? 0.03%. What's your expense ratio if you buy Amazon stock as opposed to Amazon Y? Oh, Amazon stock doesn't have an expense ratio. That's right. It's completely free to own Amazon stock. I mean, you probably have to pay transaction costs through Robin stock or whatever that are hidden, of course. But it's free to own Amazon stock. There's no expense ratio. There's no management fee. When you buy these ETFs, you're paying 1% per year, which massively drags down your total returns over time. And it's a compounding negative return on your total return. Drags it down. That's the first thing. The second thing is that a covered call limits your upside. So if you notice, go find a YieldMax ETF that's done well, which means gone up a little bit and paid big distributions on top of that. I want you to compare that ETF to the underlying stock. Go look at the Coinbase stock and then go look at the corresponding YieldMax ETF. Now, I'm sure the Coinbase stock, the Coinbase YieldMax ETF has gone up a little bit, but go look how much Coinbase has gone up. And you will very quickly see the fundamental flaw with these ETFs. You get all the downside and you get limited upside. And the trade-off is that you get some covered call income. So once again, you can cite whatever returns any one of these YieldMax ETFs is, because they could launch a YieldMax ETF covering a single stock. And that stock could just have like a random, vertical line. And everybody's going to say, oh my God, look at the 3-month performance. Oh my God. And I guess that's true. In 3 months, it did go up. But it always lags the underlying stock, and it has all the risk of the stock. It has all the downside. So it doesn't matter, okay? Stop citing all these companies or all these YieldMax ETFs that are doing well, because they are lagging. They are lagging the underlying stock, and they will 100% over the long run lag these underlying stocks because covered calls limit your upside. And look what the stunk market has done over time. It goes up, okay? So with covered calls, you're basically betting against that. And you're paying a 1% expense ratio. Did you think about that, ladies and gentlemen? So avoid YieldMax at all costs. It's a gimmick. It's all it is. They slap a popular stock on an ETF. They charge you 1%, and you basically lag the underlying holdings. It's a gimmick. They're tricking you. And they have these misleading distribution rates, which are just based on BS and nothing. Basically, they just make up a distribution rate. They say, oh, they take the last dividend, they multiply it by 12, they divide it by the share price, and that's the distribution rate. But that doesn't mean you're going to get that amount, and that's definitely not your total return, okay? So be careful out there, boys. YieldMax is garbage. Every single one of them. I don't care if it's gone up 100%. The underlying stock probably went up 300%. It's all garbage. It's all BS. YieldMax should be avoided at all costs. They're manipulative scum, and anybody that shills them is an incompetent clown. Talk to you later. Cheers.